Well, it's Monday at noon, which means it's time for another edition of Ski-U-Mah Weekly, presented by the Minnesota Lottery. We're here on the Minnesota Facebook page. We've got softball Facebook. We're probably on Periscope, all kinds of different social media channels. We thank you for joining. And even though it's like 50 below zero right now in Minneapolis, it's time to talk outdoor sports, believe it or not. And we're going to talk softball and baseball on the show today. And here to help us with that, couple of superstars. In fact, we already have some questions from people lined up in our comment section, and they're basically talking about how awesome our guests are. Kendyl Lindaman and Maddie Houlihan. Thanks for joining me, guys. How we doing?
Good.
We have the reigning freshman of the year in the Big Ten, and go back another year, the freshman of the year in the Big Ten. So you guys are now kind of like upperclassmen and everything. How have you changed now that you've been through the program a couple of times, so to speak?
You know, it's only been 1 year for me, but I really think just having that year of experience under my belt, just a big confidence booster, and just I'm very excited to get back out there, but I think that's the biggest thing for me is just having that year more confident going into this next season. Same for you, Maddie?
Yeah, I was going to say the experience is huge. Having 2 seasons under my belt, seeing a lot of different types of pitching, playing with 2 different teams, you kind of get used to things, and so I'm really excited to get back on the field.
So you get used to things, and then there's a coaching change, and I've talked to a lot of student athletes about this, and we know there's always going to be transition, but Jessica Allister goes back home, so to speak, to Stanford, and now you have Jamie Trashel. What's that adjustment period been like now that you have a new coach?
You want to go?
Sure. Okay. It was difficult. Obviously, we weren't expecting it,
right.
But I think we've done a good job of making the most out of it. You know, we have a new staff. We have 1 coach returning, but I think we've done a good job of just utilizing what we have and taking an opportunity to learn from someone else who is an expert at the game. And so it's cool that we get to learn from 2 different staffs and have that experience.
How do you balance, like, what's different? Are there differences? Obviously, you guys have had a lot of success. You're used to doing things a certain way, and I'm sure as some of the higher profile players on the team, you're counted on to bring in the new era, so to speak. How do you guys balance the old and the new?
I think it's just different because they're 2 different coaches. They have 2 different coaching styles. Jamie's definitely focused on defense. She is a defensive coach, and that's huge because we've always been really big into our offense.
Right.
But I think that just makes us a better team. We get 2 different perspectives on this game of softball, and I think that's just made us a better team so far.
So at Cole Stadium, we know about the vibe and standing room only, and for playoff games or NCAA tournament games, when you get the opportunity to host them, we won't talk about that. They're packed, right? And it's crazy. And towards the end of the Big Ten, what's that like to play in an environment like that, where softball is clearly very important here at the U?
It's so cool. I mean, my freshman year, and we started, games are getting bigger and bigger, and now by the end of my sophomore season, it was insane. I mean, there was nowhere anyone could stand, sit. It was an unbelievable environment, and it's so much fun to be able to come home, and we only play a handful of games at home, but the fact that all of those are sold out, it makes the experience that much more special.
Could you guys feel like last year? I remember the NCAA tournament games, like wherever we were in the Twin Cities, like against Alabama, like people were like stopping and watching, and all those at bat. I mean, can you feel that when you're in it, the support that you guys got and all the coverage that you guys got?
Oh, definitely. Our fans, they'll even travel the country with us. We have a great support system, and I think it just makes us that much better. We want to win that much more, just knowing that we have all these people back in Minneapolis. They have our backs. We just want to show them what we can do. We want to bring home the win for them.
A couple of more questions from me, and then we'll get to the Facebook questions. We already have some. Drop them into the comment section here on the Facebook Live page. Don't forget, we will pick a questioner at the end of the show to win the Minnesota Lottery prize pack. One of the cool things about when you play for a northern school, and I talk about this with the golf coaches, I talk about this with the tennis coaches, is right now you're not really going to play outside. So you got to go where you can play outside. You're basically gone for the next 2 months every weekend. Is that fun? Is it stressful to balance the student life aspect? What's it like now when you start the season here basically this weekend to be on the road for the better part of 2 months?
I love it, honestly. I think getting to experience all these different cities and all these different stadiums, I think it's awesome. And yeah, it's hard, but we never really expect any of the wins to be easy or the games to be easy. So I think it prepares us for postseason if we need to go on the road. I think it makes us appreciate that much more when we can play at home just because we're used to playing on the road. But I think it makes us tougher, and I think we use it to our advantage to definitely help us.
Give us a sense of this weekly schedule when classes don't stop for you when you go wherever you're going, right? So give us a sense of when you guys are leaving for some of these trips, fitting in games, fitting in classes, tests, I'm sure, as you get into that area. What's your schedule like week to week?
You know, we're here for about 3 days, Monday to Wednesday. We leave Thursday. Thursday, we leave after most people's classes. You know, sometimes you can't fit everything around your school schedule, so you might have to miss some classes. I don't have class on Friday. I got lucky. Some people are missing class on Friday, so that can be tough. But you're traveling Thursday, you get there at night, have to wake up, games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fly home Sunday night, get home sometimes midnight, even later. But then got to get right back up for your 8 a.m. on Monday.
Right. And despite all that, highest GPA in a while is what we've heard. It's a record setting this last term, so you guys are clearly getting it done. Let's take some questions, shall we, Facebook-wise, and they're all about you guys. I know everybody loves to talk about themselves and how great they are, so we do that on this show. Mary wants to talk to you, Kendyl. What adjustments, if any, do you make after your incredible 20 home run season a year ago? You know now every team is probably going to be looking for you in the lineup. So how do you adjust when you're not the Johnny-come-lately, so to speak? You're here and everybody knows about you as freshman of the year.
You know, for me, I don't think I need to make any adjustments. I just need to keep being myself out there. I don't need to do anything special. Teams do know I'm out there, and I'm sure they will pitch around me, but I just have to be patient. You know, I can't try to be any better than I can be. I just need to be myself out there.
Maddie, what was it like to add a bat like this to the lineup a year ago?
I mean, it's incredible. It's cool because our lineup is so strong that it takes the pressure off other people. I know if I don't get the job done, that Kendyl has an awesome chance to get it done, or anyone else in the lineup. So it's awesome that we can add an offensive weapon like Kendyl.
Question for both of you here. Karen says, which teams in the upcoming schedule are you looking forward to playing and why?
I would say UCLA. They have been a top program in the country for a while now. They're always competitive. I've never played them in my career, and so I think it'll be really cool to play a tough team like that, to get that experience of a Women's College World Series caliber game.
And that's University of California, Los Angeles, so I assume you're going to play at University of California, Los Angeles. You're playing them somewhere else?
I think we're in San Diego.
Yep.
Wow,
so it's a tournament.
A little further,
Yeah.
little further south, probably a little nicer.
Yeah.
Stefan, after making the NCAA tournament last season, what's the mentality, I guess, going into this season and learning from a year ago? How do you build off another NCAA tournament appearance a year ago and carrying it over to this year?
I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing. You know, we can't reflect back on the past. Yes, that was tough, but I think it did bring us all closer, and we're just a stronger team. So I think we can use that to our advantage. And it is hard. We're going to be, like you said, we're going to be on the road for the next 2 months. So we just kind of have to bring that mentality, have a chip on our shoulder, just kind of going in there and just playing our game.
How do you pass the time besides studying on road trips? What do you guys do? Are there any team traditions? Are there any team games? Hockey team makes everybody sing, I think, when they're driving around. So what do you guys have along those lines?
We watch a lot of movies if we're busing somewhere. If we're flying, it's normally just get through the airport as fast as you can, probably go find some coffee or some food because we like to eat, and just kind of wait. We don't have anything really special when we're flying in the air, but I would say buses, we like to watch some movies, have some good jam sessions.
Karaoke. Are there arguments over the movies? I mean, do people get to pick? What's who's usually arguing with whom? Is it about genre? Is it about actors? What are we arguing about?
We normally give about 2 to 3 choices, so we just got to vote, and those who lose kind of get a little cranky about that.
Headphones go right on.
Yeah, and then refuse to watch the movie.
Does it ever carry it over to the field?
No,
well,
definitely
that's probably
not.
Good.
Yeah.
That's probably helpful. Last question here. What's your favorite thing to do in the Twin Cities besides playing softball?
Man.
In the summer, I love to go to Twins games. I grew up in Minneapolis or the surrounding area, so I like to keep myself busy, go to Twins games, maybe go up north to the cabin, just try to stay busy, do a lot.
Kendyl? Do people in Iowa have cabins? It's a huge Minnesota thing. Do Iowa people have them? Do they call them cabins? Are they lake places?
We have cabins, but not in Iowa.
Not in Iowa?
I know a lot of people that have cabins in Minnesota. I actually have a condo in Missouri on Lake of the Ozarks.
Wow.
So we tend to travel outside of Iowa because there's not a whole lot to do.
Not a lot of lakes?
No, not a lot of lakes. So yeah, we'll travel to other states for that time.
Outstanding. Well, if you want to follow their season, like we said, they're not playing at home until March 30th, so it's going to be a little while, but they actually start playing this weekend. Gophersports.com for all the info. Maddie Houlihan, Kendyl Lindaman, thanks for joining us here on Ski-U-Mah Weekly. Good luck this season.
Thank
Thank you.